Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time we're doing a Season 4 carry jungle video featuring Master Yi. So the premise for this video is that a couple of the things that they changed in Season 4 is, number one, they added the new white camp. So adding one more camp just gives your jungler another camp to clear so that they can be continually clearing the jungle and just have that much more gold income coming. And then the second is the new addition, or the change to Wriggles' Lantern. Basically, they gutted it of almost all of its combat stats, leaving it only with armor and attack speed, for which it is very inefficient for. But they also give it a 40% gold increase on jungle camps that you farm subsequently to buying it. So basically, the idea is that you're going to play Master Yi, or any other like really high clear speed jungler would work fine. Shyvana, Dr. Mundo, Udyr, any of these other champions that are known for having these incredibly fast clears can work pretty well. And so, yeah, you basically just pick these champs, you rush the Wriggles Lantern as quickly as you possibly can, and you just farm the jungle over and over and over again. And this video is to kind of provide some sort of testament or my experience on how this works. I actually just finished playing this game, and so the experience is very fresh in my mind. So hopefully I'll be able to provide a little bit of expertise. Now, one quick little note about clearing is Smite has also been on a lowered cooldown, so I like to use my Smite as immediately as I possibly can. So like right when I started clearing red, I used my Smite, and whenever it comes off cooldown, I pretty much would use my Smite as frequently as possible. Just coming in here to give Akali a little bit of room to farm up, trying to help her get to 6. Wasn't really trying to get a kill, just going to scare off Katarina. Unfortunately, it looks like Shyvana goes down. But, so anyways, yeah, so basically I am just trying to farm the jungle as much as I can. And when you're playing this style, it's... I guess one of the things that I'll say about this and one of my conclusions is that it's very situational. Ooh, it looks... Are we going to go in on this? I'm not actually sure. Yeah, it looks like I am going to flash and try to land the Q. And, oh, unfortunately, I couldn't get the bounce to wow, what is his name? To Varus to pick up that kill. So, unfortunately, wasn't able to get that kill. So one of the things about this playstyle is you don't want to spend time ganking. So these ganks that I've been kind of doing, going to Katarina, going down to bot lane, coming back to Katarina, this is not what you want to be doing. You want to be farming. You want to spend as much time farming, getting as close as you can to your Wriggles Lantern as quickly as you can, because this is all about farming. So when you're playing this style, you need to have lanes that are fairly independent. They're capable of kind of holding their own. So Caitlyn Sona is a really, really good lane to have in this type of a team comp. Shyvana also, I thought Shyvana would have done a little bit better. She actually struggled a little bit against Olaf, but I kind of just let that go in hopes that we could handle Olaf in the late game. Because one of the things that Master Yi, he's really good against Olaf, because what does it take to kill Olaf? Well, you just have to kill him. You need damage, and Master Yi can bring a ton of damage. Because you can't crowd control him, your only option is to kill him. So that was kind of my thought process there. And then Akali I tried to help out because my hope was that if Akali can roam, then she can kind of substitute jungling for me. So if you can see, I think Akali just got done with a roam to the bot lane, and she picked up a kill. So my thought was that if I can get Akali going, gave her I think 2 times I visited her lane just to kind of give her some space to farm, then hopefully that could be enough for her. Actually, I almost died here. Hopefully that could be enough for her to kind of get going and start roaming, and then kind of be the jungler for me in terms of ganking lanes and helping the other laners out. Oh, I'm getting really, really low. I actually got so low I thought I was going to die, so I just left those little camps, which probably I should have just gone and killed them, but I got scared, so I think I just back off. Yeah, I couldn't make up my mind. So anyways, let's talk about runes and masteries. I'm taking lifesteal quints, attack damage reds, armor yellows, and magic resist blues. Alternatively, you could do like CDR blues and like attack speed marks, and then like AD quints. Just as long as you're focusing on damage, I think is fine. I picked lifesteal quints because I'm kind of addicted to them and the sustain that they provide. So then I wouldn't have to go back a lot because I'm getting low, but I can, because no longer does Wriggles provide lifesteal. So it looks like I did just pick up my Wriggles Lantern. Can use the ward to see that they are doing Bear Dragon, but there's nothing we can do about that, so we just kind of let it go. But now here comes the first play I make. Gonna flash the wall and get the kill onto Katarina. I think Akali maybe would have had it, but just not sure exactly how many charges she had used, and it's always kind of better safe than sorry. And Mastery is a jungler where taking a kill or two is definitely good. Not necessarily in this style, because this style all you want to be doing is farming the jungle as much as you possibly can. But getting a kill or two is always nice because it just gives you gold. So trying to scare away Olaf so that, again, we can give Shyvana some space. I don't really want to fight this. I just want to give him some space. And I'm going to hold this lane and take some farm. So let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, so you'll see as the game goes on how it works for me. But my overall thought is that I kind of feel like this maybe isn't quite as strong as maybe some people were hoping. I think Wriggles as an item is actually pretty crappy. There were some points in this game where I just kind of wished that I had instead gone for, you know, even just like sat on the Madrids, or even just sitting on the Hunter's Machete, like, because I feel as if. So let's take a look at the cost efficiency from the LoL wiki as I go for this little bead invade here on Nasus, and we help Akali pick up that kill and steal his blue buff. So Wriggles Lantern, you get 20 armor, 25 attack speed. Those stats on their own is very weak. Like paying, what is it, 1,800 gold for this item that gives you 20 armor and 25 attack speed is very, very weak. You're not getting any combat stats other than, I mean, like, you're not getting attack damage, you're not getting lifesteal. These are things that Yi can use, but in general, these stats are very, very weak. And if you look at the total gold value, it's listed at 1232. So you're getting 1,200 gold worth of stats, and you're paying 1,800. So in order for the gold efficiency to make up the passive component, which so you've got a couple of passives, your basic attack deal bonus damage on hit, and you gain 40% increased gold from monsters, and then the active component, which gives you a ward. Those components must be worth about 600 gold to make it worthwhile. And it says, alternately, if you clear roughly 20 to 25 camps, it becomes gold efficient without other passive or active. But see, the thing is that I think this gold efficiency is actually a little bit misleading, because I feel as if, so let's say you clear these 25 camps and you get the 600 gold back, but then you're at where you started. You're not ahead. You know, the whole point of this build path is that you're trying to get more gold out of the jungle than you normally would. You're trying to kind of get ahead of where you normally would. And if you compare this to, like, let's say you bought Hunter's Machete and just rushed to like a Blade of the Ruin King. Blade of the Ruin King is itself cost efficient. Like, you get great combat stats and you become very dangerous. Like, you don't have to make anything up. You don't have to make up 600 gold just to get it back to being cost efficient. So what you need to do is actually probably farm, continue to farm the jungle well after the point that you hit gold efficiency. You need to go above and beyond. And this actually was a bit of a mistake I made. I thought for sure I was going to get this Olaf one more Q, and it did not work, and all of a sudden their entire team was there, and I just died. Ugh, unfortunate. Olaf was pretty strong. That was probably the main problem there. He's level 13, and I'm at level 11, so 2 levels down is never good. But anyway, so back to the whole Wriggles. So now I'm back. You see, I actually have been farming up really, really hard. I'm at 113 creeps, which is pretty darn good. It's second best on my team, third best in the game, so I've been like power farming really, really hard. And I've got, so the Wriggles, it says it's giving me 332 bonus gold. So I'm about halfway, or a little over halfway of what I need to be in terms of making up the gold efficiency. So let's think about this. If I put about, let's say, 1,500 gold into this item, that would have been a BF sword. So I could have a whole nother BF sword instead of the Wriggles. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say in terms of like pure math. It's hard to really like know for sure what the best route is, but I still kind of feel as if, you can see using my trinket there to try and clear out the ward, I still kind of feel as if this strategy has its flaws. simply because Wriggles is such a weak item on its own, and it takes you so long to make it up, that eventually I'm going to need to get to the point where I'm at 369. I need to get to like 1,000 gold before I would say like, oh yeah, this really makes sense. And also, I alluded to a little bit of this earlier, but I feel like in order to make this work, your team composition needs to really complement your style. So what does Master Yi bring? He's going to farm the jungle, and he's going to, get a bunch of gold and be a really high damage threat. Well, in order to make that work, you probably are going to need a team comp that is kind of built around it. You can see we're having a little bit of a fight here. And so, like, Sona and Caitlyn, that's a really good lane to have. But let's say you have Vayne in your bot lane. Vayne is generally a carry that is going to need a little bit of babysitting. Or maybe, somebody else who's just kind of generally considered a little bit weak in the early laning phase that's going to need a little bit of jungle help. Those kind of champions are not what you want, and they are really going to hinder your ability to have success with this strategy. So yeah, you need to have lanes that can hold their own without ganks, and that is kind of asking a lot of people. People generally get really mad if you don't gank their lane. There's an expectation that the jungler will gank their lane. So that's one of the things that you need. And also, I think one of the really important things about this game specifically that helped this work was the fact that Akali was so eager to roam, and she got fed off of roaming. So she's 8-0, and once she hit level 6, I think she went bot and got a double kill, and that really kind of snowballed her and kept her going. And from that moment, I really kind of thought that this might work, because if you have a heavy roaming mid laner, the mid laner can kind of take over and become the jungler in some sense throughout the mid game, where they're the person who's roaming, who's helping out lanes, and is trying to kind of snowball everyone ahead. Well, again, here am I, Master Yi, sitting in the jungle and farming. Spending all my time sitting in the jungle and farming. I'm going to donate this blue buff to Akali because I felt like she deserved it because she's been doing so well, and it'll help with her energy regen. But then, again, I'm back to farming the jungle. Let's check I'm at 541. So just now, at this point, 25 minutes, I've made up the difference in my Wriggles. So any jungle camps that I farm pretty much from here on out would allow it to become cost efficient. This is more of a gameplay note, but I decided to stay in split push instead of go ahead and join my team. You can see that my team is getting dove right now, but Akali is strong enough that she can pretty much take care of this. So they've got 3 low, we've got 1 that's kind of low, and I took the tower, and now I'm going to take Nasus on and just go super ham. Once the wither wears off, this battle is pretty much over. Yeah, I think I'm going to be fine. A little bit low there. And so yeah, this is another point that if you're going to play Yi in the jungle, generally you're better served split pushing, almost in all situation, kind of like Tryndamere. You're better off split pushing than you are trying to kind of join team fights and participate. Just kind of the nature of how Master Yi works. He is definitely a better pusher than he is team fighter. So anyways, finished my Infinity Edge, finished my Static Shiv, and at this point in the game, I'm really starting to ramp up in power. But it's 27 minutes in, and we have a 8k gold lead, 9k gold lead now, which is in most part due to the fact that bot lane got snowballed, Akali's really, really big, and even though Olaf was able to get some early kills, Shyvana's done a nice job of kind of clawing her way back into this game and remaining relevant. And so, like I said, this game, I think, the reason that this strategy worked was in large part because of the fact that they kind of built the team around it. So here we are. Here's another team fight. I was going to go split push, but I decided to come back, clean up Olaf, clean up on Leona, and feeling very, very strong at this point. Again, got my Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, so got a lot of damage. But, like I said, at this point, the game has largely been decided. And yes, I'm going to be really strong and capable of carrying, but I think that, let's say mid lane hadn't gotten quite so one-sided and Akali wasn't quite so powerful, well, that would make things a lot more difficult. That would make, this situation a lot more difficult, because in many situations my team has kind of been fighting them, a man down, or at least at some sort of disadvantage, but just because they're so strong, they've been able to kind of hold their own while I'm off farming. So, I don't know. I have mixed thoughts and opinions on this strategy as a whole. But it is fun. It's definitely a kind of a fun and interesting and new way to play in the jungle. And I'm very curious to see if this is actually something that kind of takes off at all, or if this is something that most people just kind of continue to think is unviable. Because, yeah, at this point, I'm really powerful. Let's check my Wriggles again. 652. So, again, like, I spent the whole game trying to farm almost as much as I possibly can. Maybe I'm going to go farm the jungle a little bit more, but not probably too much more. I mean, I don't really know if the Wriggles puts you ahead enough, early enough to make it worthwhile. It takes so long to farm. So 756. So I've definitely made this cost effective, maybe by about 200 or 300 gold ahead of where I would normally be. But I'm just not 100% convinced that this is really that strong of a strategy and is something that's going to be reliable and consistent enough to carry games on. So now the laning phase is pretty much over, and I'm not going to farm the jungle, and I've pretty much turned into a dedicated split pusher. So I'm pushing top lane. My team is gathered here on the bottom, so it looks like they have 4. So, okay, this is really important. This is a quick note about split pushing. If they send one to deal with me, I can probably kill them. I don't know if there's anyone on their team that can duel me. I've already killed Nasus, and maybe Olaf can maybe handle me, but, I got a free tower because they didn't send in anyone in time. Now I can see that they're leaving, and the moment I see them, I back away. Now that Olaf is in the picture, I immediately back away. And look at that, they send all 4 to come deal with me. So I'm pinging my team, hey team, go deal with, take the bot, or push mid, and I'm going to go, and again, be pesky and take this inhibitor. The whole idea of split pushing is that it creates a power imbalance. Master Yi is extremely strong in a 1v1 situation, and so I can exploit that power by split pushing. If I force people to come and deal with me, that draws pressure away from my team. So look, Akali just got a kill on Katarina. Now she's going on to Nasus. They've got a couple down here. Varus is chasing after Caitlyn. Nice juke there by Caitlyn. And what am I doing? I'm taking a Nexus tower. And now I'm going to go clean up on these guys that got low. It looks like they did finish off Akali, but now I'm going to finish off both Leona and Nasus. And so by creating that power imbalance, I've really been able to kind of really snowball this game out of control and taken 2 inhibs and a Nexus tower. So yeah, this is kind of where you want to end up with your gold. Let's take a look at where I'm at. 756 still, so I haven't really farmed the jungle much. Am I actually going to be able to take this? That'd be pretty crazy. If they show up, I'm probably just going to have to run away. Yeah, it looks like I am going to take that tower. It looks like I'm going to go ham all in, hit my ult, hit my E, and pick up the kill on Olaf. Do get shut down by Katarina, but that's okay. Oh, she wants to go super ham. Oh, nice use of the Spell Thief or whatever active from that jungle component. Very nice job. So yeah, like I said, farm. You want to get the Wriggles as fast as you can. Farm the jungle to try to make up those stacks. And then when you get to kind of this late game situation, I think split pushing is your best choice. So yeah, I guess overall, would I really recommend this strategy? I think you should try it. I think it's fun. I picked up a second Infinity Edge here because I felt like kind of trolling. My crits are hitting for like 1,000 damage right now, so I can literally like 2-shot Varus, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, my crit chance is 71%. That's absurd. And look at this. So I've got 271 farms. So I have become the most farmed character in the game. 791 bonus gold. So I've definitely made it work. I'm about 300 gold ahead. But I think that the main thing I would say about this strategy is just that it takes a long time to really ramp up. If you compare this to other late game carries like Vayne or Nasus, they take a little while to ramp up, but I think that this strategy in particular especially takes a really long time to ramp up. But I finished the game going 9, 2, and 3. I definitely made the Wriggles worth it. I got super fed, but had the team situation been different, had Caitlyn and Sona not been able to stand up on their own as well, had Akali not been capable of roaming as much as she did, I just don't know if this would have been as successful as it was. But I do think that having the extra camp there is really, really nice for these fast clearers. So if you have junglers that really can clear the jungle very quickly, I would definitely consider this a buff. However, if I was going to do this again, I would probably just do the same thing, but just skip Wriggles and go maybe do Madrids. Let's take a look at the gold efficiency of Madrids, because that's going to help you clear quickly. But after Madrids, I probably wouldn't finish. Okay, so Madrids in even itself isn't even that cost efficient. I'm kind of baffled. But it does give you that passive component, which I guess would probably be worth it in terms of clearing speed. But yeah, I guess I would probably do Madrids, and then after Madrids, I would go into maybe a lifesteal item like Blade of the Ruined King, or even just the Bilgewater Cutlass to give you the slow. And then from there, I would go for like the Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, Guardian Angel. So that would probably be my full build. But I don't know. I'm curious to hear if you guys have tried this farm heavy style. Let me know down in the comment section below if you've had success with it, if you think that Wriggles is worth it. And if you're new around here, feel free to rate or subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.